Welcome everyone. This is Sami on your screen once again. Today I'm here to make some principles or concepts on frequency distributive table simple for you. Let's take a look at this table here. You might be thinking how to go about this table, but then principles in statistics will make it simple for you and easy to solve. All right, let's read what is on the board. It's a distribution of patients in 5 wards in a setting or a health facility. We have ward frequency, cumulative frequency, relative frequency proportion, relative frequency in percentage, and cumulative frequency percentage. All right, in the ward we have ward A, ward B, ward C, ward D, and ward E, and the total. From the table, first let's look at where we can fail by principles of statistics. The first one is that here we have frequencies and some empty spaces on the frequency column. And we have cumulative frequency for the first word, which is word A, and the last cumulative frequency. So the first principle we can apply here is that the total frequency is equal to the last cumulative frequency. It means that we can put 96 at the total frequency. So here will be 96. And then another principle is that the first cumulative frequency is equal to the first frequency. Hence, we can also put 22 here. But there is no principle that you can apply to put a certain number here. So we can represent this place by a variable. Let's say S. And then there is another principle in statistics that the relative frequency in proportion is always equal to 1. And then the relative frequency in percentage is always equal to 100. But we don't have totals for cumulative frequencies. Hence, the total for cumulative frequencies here will be dash, and the total for the cumulative frequency in percentage will be dash. All right, from here, we can calculate for the x by summing up all the frequencies and equating it to the total here. Now we will get 22 plus x plus 16 plus 18 plus 12, which is equal to 96. Now we can add the 22, 16, 18, and 12, which will give us 22 plus 16 plus 18 plus 12, which is 68 plus x equal to 96. Now we can send the 68 here, or you can subtract each side by 68. So it will be x equal to 96 minus 68. S will be equal to 28. Hence, our S here is 28. So you bring 28 here. Now let's move on in summing up our frequencies to get our cumulative frequencies. Right now, we can go on and apply the diagonal approach. So we have 22 here. To get the cumulative frequency, you add 22 plus 28, which will give us 50. Then 50 plus 16 should give us 66. Then 66 plus 18, which will give us 84. Then let's confirm what we did here, the principle. 84 plus 12, 96. It means that the principle always works. So when you are faced with this challenge or a certain question, you make sure that you apply the principles to make it simple for you. Now let's go to relative frequency proportion and relative frequency percentage. We are going through this on the two because the question didn't specify on which we should go on. But then in some questions, depending on the question, you can go either by this one or this one, the proportion or the percentage. So let's go through how to get the proportion and the percentage. All right. To get the relative frequency proportion, you use the frequencies. So you take the first frequency and you divide it by the total frequency for the first one. and you do the same for all of them. So to make it obvious that you did the question yourself or you did it yourself, you show working here for the examiner or the lecturer to see. So let's go. 22 divided by 96. This one 0.229. All right, so to omit errors or to eliminate errors, you must always leave your answer in at least 3 decimal places so that you can get the one here when you sum up everything. All right, so let's go to the second one. 50 divided by 96. I talked about earlier. You might use the cumulative frequencies. So always make sure that you are using the frequencies itself. All right, so let's use the frequencies. So 28 divided by 96. 0.292. Then the second one, 16 divided by 96. 0.167. Then 18 divided by 96. 0.198. Then 12 divided by 96. 0.125. All right. So when you sum up everything here, you get 1 because we ended everything or we leave it in 3 decimal places. You get the 1 accurately. But if you leave it in maybe 2 decimal places, you might get 1 point something, 1.01, 1.2. But when you do it like this, you get everything accurately. So let's move to the relative frequency in percentage. So in percentage, you express the fraction like this and multiply it by 100. So that one you show working to confirm that you did the work yourself. So it will be 22 divided by 96 times 100. This will give us 22.9. Do the same for this one. 28 divided by 96 times 100, which will give you 29.2. And you do the same for this one, 16 divided by 96 times 100, which will give you 16.7. Then 18 divided by 96 times 100, 19.8. And 12 divided by 96 times 100, which will give you 12.5. So when you sum up all these ones too, you get a total of 100. Now, here we are only using the cumulative frequency in percentage. As I said earlier, a question might demand for the cumulative frequency in proportion, but here we are going by the percentage. All right, so in percentage too, the principles of cumulative frequency still apply. The first relative frequency in percentage is equal to the cumulative frequency in percentage. So here will be 22.9. And then the cumulative frequency in percentage, always the last sum up to 100 because it's in percentage. And when you sum up everything here, you get the 100. Okay, so as I said earlier, you can go by the vertical or the diagonal approach, but let's go by the diagonal approach. So the 22.2 plus 29.2. 51.4. 51.4 plus 16.7. 68.1. 68.1 plus 19.8. 87.9. Then 87.9 plus 12.5, which is to give you 100. All right, so let's go over it once more time. As we said earlier, when you get a question like this, make sure that you apply all the principles of statistics. That the first frequency is equal to the first cumulative frequency. So in the question, we were not given this one. So we applied the principle that the first frequency is equal to the first cumulative frequency. So here will become 22. And then we were not given this one too, for which we represented it by a variable, and we calculated for it, and we got S. And here too wasn't given, so we calculated on, and we applied the principle that the sum or the last frequency, the last cumulative frequency is equal to the total frequency, which is 96 here, and we brought it here too. And then the relative frequency, in proportion, the total is always equal to 1, and in percentage, it's always equal to 100. That we don't have total for cumulative frequencies, either in proportion or in percentage. All right, thank you.